I will be sharing 8 points as I have been a former NEET aspirant. You can decide that if you should take a drop or if you shouldn't take a drop. Just coaching institutions don't let out very honestly that you are falling into a trap. But what am I doing in my life? Am I doing enough? The fact of letting other people do better in their lives and you are still stuck behind, it is the truth that it really hurts. जिन लोगों को 11th और 12th का कुछ अता पता नहीं है, unintentionally we end up hurting the people around us. Prevention is better than cure. That is the worst case scenario. You might think अभी तो 12th खत्म हो गया है, अभी या फिर सिर्फ एक साल आएगा वो ड्रॉप. Let me give another drop and I will be in a government medical college. This is the exact video where I want to make you realize that you are falling into a trap of losing years of your life. And once you get into your 20s, you realize that you're already left behind. Life is going on for the people around you and you are not able to catch up to everybody. You can't decide that if you should take a drop or if you shouldn't take a drop. This is a video where I will be sharing 8 points as I have been a former NEET aspirant, a dropper. Things that other droppers or coaching institutions don't let out very honestly. I myself used to live in the myth that एक साल पढ़ूंगी और अगले साल I will be in a government medical college. लेकिन अगर ये सच होता then all the droppers would have been selected for a government medical college, but that's not the reality. It was not that I did not study. I did study, but अगर जॉब में हो जाता सिलेक्शन सबका तो सबका हो जाना चाहिए था ना. Why is it that very less percentage of people? Let me say you, because जिन लोगों का पूरा 11th और 12th बर्बाद होता है, जिन लोगों को 11th और 12th का कुछ अता पता नहीं है, you cannot complete a whole 11-12 syllabus in 8 to 9 months. I'm taking, if you start from the very beginning, then 8 to 9 months, a complete 2 years of syllabus. That is very hard. Even if you do all the necessary works, you might still not clear it. So not wasting any more time, let me start with the 8 points that I have thought of putting in this video. First, consistency. It doesn't matter if you have a headache, if you have fever, if you are not well, if you are not physically well, if you are not mentally well. Your feelings don't matter here. It doesn't matter that what you are thinking, what is going on in your head, what is going on in your mind. But what matters is, leave it, हो गया रोना था ना, पढ़ना चालू कर दो. That is the basic reality. You don't have the personal mental space to think about things that you are dealing with. The next point will be an underrated one about how you start treating people around you. Often when we get too much indulged in our personal thoughts about our insecurities or things like, what if I don't crack it, what if I'm doing everything but still maybe I don't know what will happen, and we become so over emotional that the simplest words around us might hurt us. Unintentionally we end up hurting the people around us, let it be our parents or our siblings. Judge ourselves because we feel sad that even if we don't want to, we are saying things or acting in such a way that are making them hurt, and at the end we end up judging ourselves more than anybody else can ever do. The third point is probably FOMO. I'm leaving all the facts of parties and fests, everything all behind. That is not even the main point. The main point where it comes is that when you feel that everybody is doing something in their life, everybody is either almost getting through a degree, or they're already completing a degree, or they're going to some places for internship and all, but you are still stuck at only one place with only those 2 classes of syllabus. So I don't think that parties and fests are definitely something that definitely triggers us, but we kind of in our subconscious mind say that okay, next year we will also do that, we will also do things and we will catch up with that. But the fact of letting other people do better in their lives and you are still stuck behind, I think that is what it hurts the most. I met a friend of mine, a very old school friend, 2 days ago. I said her that, I blocked your status. I was not on Insta, so story is not even a factor. I blocked your status because she went to Bangalore for some seminars from her college and all, and with her friends. And I got so frustrated. I don't know, I don't think jealousy would be the right word, but I thought that what am I doing with my life? She is going to Bangalore, she is going to a seminar. I'm happy for her, but what am I doing in my life? Am I doing enough? That is, I think, a lot of people face through. You might think at this point that maybe it's not a big factor, maybe it's a friend, so you'll be happy for them, but it is the truth that it really hurts. Well, the fourth point will be relationship. Let me say you, I was single for a complete 2 years. I did not have any situationship, any relationship or whatever ships are there, but I have seen people getting into relationships and losing their mind, losing their focus and ruining their preparation completely. But that's not completely true, let me say you, because I have also seen people who were in good relationships with supportive partners, who were there to the thick and the thin. So if you are in a good relationship, a healthy one, then absolutely continue it. But if you think that you are not in a relationship, then I personally feel that stay 10 feet away from love and relationship and that sort of things, because even if the smallest thing that can make you distracted, it's the better option will be to avoid it, because prevention is better than cure. I mean, there is no point getting into things that might not help in this field. Also about relationships, I think we often forget to mention that in the course of being in a drop year, we often miss our school friends, but we intentionally choose to ignore them. But in the process of ignoring them, we only feel guilt, we only feel lonely about it. When I was in my drop year, my friends used to text me. So, and I was like, no, I have to study, because if I get involved with them, I will get out of focus. So I used to ignore them, and I was the one who used to get hurt, because I am the one who is ignoring them, I am the one who is ghosting them, but at the end of the day, I am the one who is getting hurt. So I think it's better that if you keep a bit of contact with your school friends, or always like choosing the friends you want to be in contact with, not everybody. And relationship though, I already said. Well, I think the fifth point will be to avoid getting into your comfort zone. You start with a lot of energy, enthusiasm, and end up going to somewhere like, okay, ठीक है, कर लेंगे, देखा जाएगा, which end up getting into a lot of backlogs. And let me remind you, if you are in your drop year, if you get once into a backlog, you are never going to get out of it. At least till December, I don't think there is any point of having a backlog even. Just try to do everything with its pace as the classes are going on. If you are enrolled in a class, hopefully you will be, if you are taking a drop year. So don't get into backlogs. Don't get, ठीक है मैं कल पढ़ लूँगी, ठीक है कल क्वेश्चन कर लूँगी, ये सब मत करो. जो है, जो दिया जाएगा वो तभी ख़त्म कर लो. If you once leave a chapter out, you think that मैं बाद में ये chapter अब syllabus ख़त्म कर लूँ, उसके बाद में chapter ख़त्म कर लूँगी ये वाला. But that never really happens. You end up leaving that chapter. The next point will definitely be about age. Well, it will be a controversial point, because some people say that age is not a concern in MBBS, but we all know that the late you start getting into MBBS, the late you start earning it, and there is, I think that personally, 3 drops are still valid. More than 3 drops, I think you should either change your field, or you should go into pharma or nursing maybe, if you are interested, because giving so much to an exam and for years, I don't think it's worth it in medicine or in any other field at all. One of my mother's colleagues' son, he is 3 to 4 years older than me, and I think it was his 5th drop, and he claims to say that he will be taking another drop, that is, he will be taking 6th drop to get into MBBS. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you want to, if you're so passionate about it, then go for it. But I think that it is not just about studying the whole MBBS thing. It is also about giving a lot. It's a lot of mental pressure in your head. I think that to some point, age is definitely a limit. Some of my friends have completed or will be completing the next year or after that year, and I'm still not into a government medical college or even a medical college. So I am just a class 12 pass out. That's it. I think to some point, when you maybe a 3rd or a 4th dropper, you are sitting with a girl or a boy who is also in the same class as the same batch as you, and now as a first dropper, you kind of feel inferior. At least I did at some point. The 7th point will be getting into the loop of trap, getting into a trap loop. That is, you feel like you have improved a lot, but that lot is even not as much as to get into government medical college. So you just keep on doing, and it was just, it's a bit more. I have accomplished this much in this job, and the next job I will of course get into a government medical college. It's just a bit of marks, but that just a bit of marks makes you feel like that इतना साल मैंने एक एग्जाम के लिए दिया है, अभी तो मैं नहीं छोड़ सकती ना, because all of my identity is based on NEET. What am I doing? I'm a NEET dropper. That's it. That is what I am doing. That is what I have been doing. So when your whole circle is about getting into a medical college, we get so much selfish and so much centered with the concept of just that exam. We are not able to leave it so easily. I think that is what people say, that don't get attached. No, getting attached is not the point, but it is what it is. The 8th point will be partial drop. That is the worst case scenario. I mean, if you are getting into a college already, and if you are studying in that college, then still preparing for MBBS, it's very hard. It's harder than you can imagine. If you do not have to get into a college, or if you have to get into a college and you don't have any tests going on, you don't have to study for that college, then that's a very good deal. But again, then if you're getting into the college and there is a point of getting into the college, then why are you getting into the college? You're not studying anything, you are not learning anything, there is nothing valuable about that degree in your life, you don't care about the degree, then why get into that college? Just it's like, okay, घर बैठे रहेंगे तो एक कॉलेज में घुस जाते हैं. मतलब partial drop is the worst case scenario. I personally think so. Well, I definitely didn't include the point of relatives, well, because we all know that the presence of relatives are supposed to be ignored. And finally, if I say that don't fall into the trap that if you are a school student right now, that ठीक है 12th में तो अब नहीं करेंगे, हम direct drop में पढ़ लेंगे. Don't fall into that trap, because going to school, doing a bit of co-curricular activities, meeting with your friends, having a conversation with your teachers is much easier to study while you're doing school than to do in your job. You're surrounded by only four walls and a lot of things going on in your mind, because it is not as easy as it looks like. It might be like you are having a lot of time, you get a lot of time to study, there are no projects and practicals and all that sort of things, but you don't realize that the more you keep people away from you, a lot of things start going on in your mind. There is nothing materialistic to distract you, but your mind itself will be your biggest enemy. So I absolutely think that if you're in school, give your best. Even after fighting and listening to all of the above points, if you still think that yes, you are going to get into a government medical college, you're going to give NEET 2027, then give your best. Give your best for the exam, give all the hard work you can, and all the best for 2027 aspirants.